If there's one genre that's delivered incredible titles year in and year out for decades, it's the role-playing game. With the sheer number of settings, combat systems, characters, and stories, selecting the very best games in the genre is a challenge. After all, everyone has their precious memories of getting lost in a fantastical world. Regardless, here are our picks for the 15 best role-playing games of all time. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. After their success, many wondered where BioWare's next game would venture. Few expected Star Wars, even fewer expected perhaps the best story in the franchise to date with Knights of the Old Republic. As an amnesiac Jedi, players explore well-worn and brand new locations while becoming reacquainted with the Force. With stellar writing and companions, an excellent combat system, and the alignment system dictating one's bent towards the light or dark side, Knights of the Old Republic is an iconic title for any RPG and Star Wars fan. Boulders Gate 3. I've spent a little over 100 hours with Boulders Gate 3 and felt like I've only scratched the surface of its storytelling potential. The tale of halting an Illithid uprising and removing the tadpoles from my party is compelling, interspersed with memorable choices and moments, gorgeous locales, and stellar quest design. The combat, with its dizzying array of choices and combinations, with reactive environments that encourage improvisation, is simply amazing. But even with my happy ending, I still want to return and spin another yarn or two, if only to taste adventure once more. Disco Elysium Director's Cut. It's easy to paint Disco Elysium as a murder mystery where you make skill checks and the storyline branches in different directions, but it's more than that, and more than its incredible music or art style would indicate. As Detective Harry Dubois, you investigate a murder case, which turns into a journey of self-discovery, internalizing your thoughts and conversing with your inner psyche. Compound this with a range of complex, morally onerous characters, and you have a role-playing experience unlike any other. Dragon's Dogma 2. Open-world fantasy RPGs with hack-and-slash combat are nothing new, and yet Dragon's Dogma 2 takes them to an altogether different plane. Ignore the story, which ultimately peters out by the end, and carve your way through the world. Discover secrets like the Sphinx and her riddles, or get caught up in the emergent gameplay, which tosses wolves and dragons in equal measure. The pawn system, an extensive list of vocations, and stunning vistas pair well with the meaty combat, delivering an organic experience. Cyberpunk 2077. Night City, where legends are born, dreams seemingly come true, and no happy endings exist. Despite the controversial launch, Cyberpunk 2077 has fulfilled what CD Projekt Red set out to do: offer an unflinching look into the infamous metropolis from the perspective of up-and-comer V. Despite launching 4 years ago, the sheer fidelity of the setting, combined with visceral combat, extensive build choices, and memorable quest designs still feel as fresh as ever, arguably even more so thanks to all the updates and the addition of Phantom Liberty. Elden Ring. It's not hyperbole to call Elden Ring one of the biggest games of all time. Critical acclaim and commercial success aside, it's overflowing with armor sets, weapons, spells, equipment, and whatnot. It's meaningless without such a rewarding world to explore or challenging bosses, but From Software delivers on both fronts. Calling it a masterpiece is an understatement, because even after almost 3 years, Elden Ring still presents an open-world RPG standard matched by few. Fallout 3. 2004. Bethesda acquires the rights to Fallout from Interplay. Outrage and chaos, albeit self-contained, ensues among the series' fans. 2008. Bethesda launches Fallout 3, a first-person post-apocalyptic RPG. There were bugs and more than a bit of jank, yet the personality of the wasteland, the choices and dire consequences, and the atmosphere were intact. It's aged remarkably well, and still offers a fine RPG experience. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Pokemon Gold and Silver are usually considered the best games in the franchise, which is something, considering the sheer range of features introduced over the decades. However, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are even better, serving as remakes with improved visuals on the Nintendo DS. Legendary Pokemon from other regions, new story objectives, the Pokeathlon with 10 new minigames, new evolutions, and much more await, making these the definitive versions. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Did the developers have to present the second part of its Final Fantasy VII Remake saga on such a massive scale? Probably not. Does it excel in almost every single way, from visuals and music to minigames, quest design and exploration? Heck yes! The sheer number of improvements over the first game, from combat to more expanded areas, is simply mind-blowing. However, the best part is how much it captures the original's nostalgia and chemistry between its iconic characters while pushing a new narrative. Monster Hunter World. A hunter must hunt as much as get roared at by monsters, trampled, sent flying from the lack of flinch-free, and whatnot. Yet, Monster Hunter World is an incredible entry for the series, packing higher fidelity visuals over previous titles, a bigger scale, especially with its multi-level biomes, and perhaps the finest tuned combat yet. It can be challenging for first-time players, but once you dive into the loop of hunting and crafting, there's no escape. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Any list of the best role-playing games of all time would be incomplete without Skyrim. It's been compared to other open-world titles for years in terms of size and scale, and remains a fan favourite thanks to extensive mods. Yet, the base game, with its exploration and that feeling of encountering something new around every corner, remains as incredible as ever. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Whether you like the revamps and changes made or not, there's no denying the value of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. You get the original trilogy and its brilliance, almost all of the DLC, and a modernized version of the first game complete with improvements to combat, visuals, loading times, and bosses. Galactic readiness has also been rebalanced and applied to the entire trilogy, making your choices throughout that much more significant. Long story short, if you haven't played Mass Effect 1 to 3, the Legendary Edition is a must-have. Dragon Age Origins. Before there was Hawke, the Inquisitor, and Rook, there was simply the Warden, and what a journey they took us on. Players can choose different origins, which affects their beginning and choices, while the storytelling and world-building, paired with the brutal atmosphere, offer a dark tale. The franchise has had its ups and downs over the years, but Dragon Age Origins remains a classic. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. A series that began as an action-adventure beat-em-up, transitioning into an incredible RPG, is ironic indeed. And yet, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth is everything that fans of the franchise and the genre could ever want. Honolulu offers a vastly different setting than previous titles, and it certainly applies given the play spots, side quests, and activities like Dondoko Island. However, there's still plenty of drama and betrayal, whether it's surrounding Ichiban's quests to find his mother or Kiryu making peace with his life. Paired with exceptional combat, Infinite Wealth offers non-stop entertainment. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Somehow hailed as a hidden gem and generational RPG, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's influence can't be understated. The quest design alone has inspired so many other franchises, while the world building and characters, from Ciri and Yennefer to Vesemir and Dandelion, are standout examples of excellent writing. Sure, its combat wasn't the very best, launching in the same year as Bloodborne didn't help, but the sheer size of the world, the excellent presentation, and the emotional storytelling had us hooked from start to finish.
So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.